Morty, we've got to turn the project in early.
Hey everybody, how are we doing? Maybe I'll send out an announcement, be like, office hours, do some homework. Could do that. Live streaming, here we are. Live streaming, I have tomorrow, I have a dentist appointment. My fourth in like just forever. So that's the issue is tomorrow I can't be here. Got to be at the dentist. It's so staticky outside. This is the random part of the office hours. We talk about random things. We do random things. Staticky outside. Static Shock. Good TV show. Just kind of. It's like I feel my hair sticking on my face. There's that part flying out. Okay, let's get serious here. We'll get serious. Got Mubot up and loaded. Let me send out a thing and say to people, we are in office hours. Join office hours if you want. Join office hours and complete homework or quizzes. I think I misspelled complete. I did. There we go. There is the office hours. Go to dashboard. Do a bunch of the homework. It's so cold out today. Office hours live. Complete homework and quizzes. Okay. There we go. Signing into Pearson. Pearson. Sport drink. Go back here and look at the main screen. Main screen. Due in one day. And not a lot of people have done it. We send reminders for the no score. Email selected. Subject. Homework / quizzes due on my Pearson. Chapter 13 is due tomorrow night, 11/11, and 14 is due on Thursday, 11/13. Okay, let's send this. There we go. Okay. Oh. Amazing. I know an email. Oh, we got someone in the chat. Who's in the chat? Feel free to say hello. We'll throw you some Mubot points. Throw one more song on right here. Hey, what's up, Randomized? I just gave you a heart on the chat thing. I saw your comments on the YouTube videos. Thank you so much for throwing comments on. That actually helps the algorithm. What's up, Allie? What problems should we do? We got two people here. What problems do you want to do? I feel like my hair is just... the weather did do it. Anyways, pick a problem. Being offered. It was snowing a little bit, and I went outside. Hair got a little bit wet. My hair is very, very fine. Like, my hair is just so, like, it's just, like, very, very light, fine hair. It was flurrying a lot earlier, yeah. And so with that, like, the slightest bit of, like, moisture or whatever in the atmosphere just makes my hair go bloop. It's just it's the way my hair has always been. Like, some people have really thick hair, but my hair is just, like, it just very, very fine. Yeah, same. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy here. Okay. It's not, and if I put product in it, it just, like, gets even more weighed down sometimes. We're like, well, you need to emulsify the product. You put your hand, you emulsify, you heat it up, put the product throughout your hair. I know how to put product in my hair. It says it's sending an announcement to the students. We'll believe it for a moment. What homework quizzes should we do? Allie and randomize. What do you want to do? It's your time. Canvas Content Quiz 8. Let's do it. Oh, man, let's do it. Canvas Content Quiz 8. Here we go. The Canvas Content Quiz 8. Let me find it. Canvas Content Quiz number 8. Where is it? There's quiz 9. Oh, there it is. Do Friday. That's good stuff. Let's put in the notes. Canvas content. Okay, here we go. We are at the 5:53 mark. So stat 201, Canvas content. We'll do at least 3 versions of it. And a lot of people wonder, like, can you do these after they're due? And you can't. But here's the thing. I like to pause when doing these, so then you can try to figure out the answer too. So use these Canvas contents if you're watching them to try to figure out the answers before I tell you the answers. So let's do the first one right here. An employee at Guinness Beer invented the tea distribution. Is that true or false? Did some dude at Guinness Beer... Is that true or false? Is that true or false? It's very, very true. It's William Seeley Gossett. So William Seeley Gossett right there worked at Guinness Beer, chief brewer, chemist, and statistician. He wrote a paper in Biometrica on the probable error of a mean by student. Student was the pseudonym Pierce. Good to see there. Yeah, it's a fun fact. Yeah, it's really cool that William Seeley Gossett worked at Guinness Beer, and Biometrica is one of the top journals. So, and there's a tea table behind him in the background, and yeah, he was just drinking some beer and doing stats. Like I'm drinking a Sun Squirt right here, a good drink, and so that's very true. Now, when you test the means, who do we have? I talk about this test. When you test the means, who do I talk about? I got to make sure this is set up. We're looking at a thing for tomorrow right here. When we test the means, what man do you think of? Mr. Who. When we test the means, who do you think of? You got to tell me in the chat, and then I'll show you. This is getting ready for tomorrow. Did I seriously move it? When we test the means, who do you think of? I did move it. There it is. Man. When you test the means, who do you think of? Think of the guy right over there. Is that where he's at? He's over there. Not Monster Man, Mr. T. That's Mr. T. This is for tomorrow when Mubot takes me to court. So, Mr. T, good old Mr. T right there. Now, if you're doing drugs, Mr. T is what? If you're doing drugs, Mr. T is what? If you're doing drugs, Mr. T is what? Well, he's a nice guy. Mr. T is a very nice guy, but if you're doing drugs... Can you guys hear this? Wait.
That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds
You gotta watch the first part.
drugs. It turns my stomach.
You'll become that glass right there if you're doing drugs around Mr. T. So don't do drugs around Mr. T. He's mean if you're doing drugs. So why do I keep saying this? When we're testing the mean, we're doing the what test, or doing a confidence interval for the mean. If you're testing the mean, you're doing a what test. What is the test called? This is a good note to have. If you're testing a mean, it's called a what test. If you're testing the mean, it's called a what test. Yeah, Mr. T is mean. So you're doing a t-test. A t-test. Pierce cracked me. I love it. I love it, Pierce. Oh, you're doing a t-test. Okay, I love it. So you're doing the t-test. Now, the first conditions are random, 10%, so these are always true. And then success failure is only for categorical data, but the mean is quantitative, so the condition that is used is nearly normal. Success failure is for the Z or proportion test. There's a really great video I have on this on Review 3. We'll just show this. But if you want to go over conditions, Review 3 has a really, really, really great video that walks you through the conditions. So here's Review 3. You can see it in the chat. And there's a lot of ways to memorize these with mnemonics. But if you go right here, go to my video, then you will see there's all the conditions. Success failure is on the far right there. There's me 5-6 years ago. Actually, it is 6 years ago, I think. 6 years ago this December. And time warp. A confidence interval is made from a blank to estimate the truth for a what? Don't even read the answers. Well, you can see it's permutations of samples and populations and parameters. Um, yeah, there's a few ways it could go, but you always make confidence intervals from this to estimate a truth for a what? We're gonna do three versions of this. When you make a confidence interval, you take a sample to estimate the truth for a population, exactly. And populations have parameters, so it could have been from a statistic for a population, but samples have statistics, SS, populations have parameters. A statistic is when I try this drink and I'm like, man, I like Coke products. The parameter would be the truth for all Coke products and my true feeling for all Coke products. If we're trying to estimate how does Brian feel about Coke products, he might try a few and be like, I like Coke product. I don't even know if that's a Coke product. But the sample leads way to a statistic, which is a numeric understanding of a smaller group. The population is everything you want to understand, like all Coke products, and then the true rating, which you might never know. Like, what does Brian really think about all Coke products? Well, you'd have to take a sample of them to have an estimate of what Brian thinks about all Coke products. Success failure condition for a population requires what? If you get this on the test sheet, it should be like freebie. Is it A or B? Is it A or B? This is a freebie memorization one. I love it because it's like we've done this one a lot. So which one is it, A or B? Which one? It is B. Wait, yeah, at least 10. Okay. I thought it said less than or something. I saw L and I thought it was less than. You have to have at least 10 successes, at least 10 failures. And the reason this is if you look at the binomial distribution, it's another way of doing it. If you had something like a success rate of, let's say, 1%, so 1% success rate, and you have a sample of 100, the distribution doesn't look normal. But if you had a success rate of like 30, which leads way to 30 successes and 70 failures, the distribution follows the normal. So without at least 10 successes and at least 10 failures, because you start to go down to very few successes, and it doesn't follow the normal. As you get more and more and more successes, it becomes more normal till now we have at least 10 successes and it's normal. So if you don't have at least 10 successes, at least 10 failures, the distribution won't be normal. You can't use the methods we use in class. So this is kind of a quick showing of it, but you need at least 10 successes, at least 10 failures, checked by NP hat and Q hat for enrolls and such. And we'll get more into it, but you get it. The only way to change the margin of error is to change the sample size. What is another way to change the margin of error? The equation, what is another way to change the margin of error? You have to know what the margin of error is. The margin of error is everything after the plus or minus in an interval. So when you make an interval, you have p hat. One interval is p hat plus or minus z star. And then p hat, q hat over n. What is another way to change the margin of error? Y bar plus or minus t star n minus 1 degrees of freedom s over square root of n. What is another way? Because it's saying the only way to change it is the sample size. Well, the margin of error is not that. The margin of error is everything here. So what's another way to change it? What's another way to change the margin of error? I mean, just look at the math. Just think about the math. You want to change the margin of error. Yeah. That's called the critical value, things like that, a different t-score. This changes how confident we are. So this value right here is basically like when you say you're 95% confident, that's 1.96. Same sort of thing for down here. It's based off of a t-table. It's very close to the z a lot of times, and good answers right there. So use a different t or z value, which purports to a different level of confidence. That's what the star means. You pick the confidence you want based on, like, you just say, like, I want a 68% confidence roll, so I need to go a z of 1. And so you can change your confidence. That's really the way you change it. You either change sample size or confidence. Standard deviation changes it, but you don't control standard deviation. P hat and Q hat change it, but you don't really control that. So this is false. There we go. Let's do 2 more versions. We'll probably get some easy ones. I need you to yell at the answers. I might say A, B, or C. Well, we know this one. What was the name of the guy who worked at Guinness? Can you tell me that? You can tell me his last name, first name, middle name. WST. What was the name of the guy who worked at Guinness? Just helping you remember it a little bit better. The name of the guy who worked at Guinness who wrote the probable error of a mean in Biometrica. Still a top journal in statistics to this day. I'd love to publish it, excuse me. What was his name? He called it the student T distribution, because it was a pseudonym. So he used a fake name. Gossett. Yeah, we don't make you memorize. I mean, this is like, you should know this one. Yep. Gossett's T. Willie Gossett. No matter what the shape of the parent population, as long as our sample size is 10 or greater, we can have a sampling distribution of the mean that is approximately normal. So this is saying no matter the shape, is this true or false? Like it's like if you had some super duper skewed data and you have a sample size of like 10, you're good to go. Like the distribution of the mean will be normal. Is that true or false? Like some very, very skewed. This goes to the large enough n condition, the nearly normal large enough n condition. Is that true or false? Don't worry, take a guess. I got to throw you guys some more points. It is false. If it's very, very skewed, you'd need a sample size of at least what? The more skewed it is, you would need a sample size of at least what? 100. About 100. I mean, the more skewed it is, the larger n needs to be. So we have the central limit theorem applet, which shows this, that if you have... I didn't type applet. If you have a normal distribution, then the resulting distribution, no matter the sample size, will be normal. If you have a skewed distribution, a small sample size won't have the skew normalized, but if you get large enough. But if you have a very, very, very skewed distribution, if you go to like ridiculously skewed, then by the time you get to like ridiculously skewed, when you get to bigger samples, central limit theorems, yeah. Just got your 100. Allie's already done it. So yeah, once you know a few, you're like, I got this. So the more skewed it is, the larger it needs to be. So that's false. I love this question because people know how to do this and they don't know that they know how to do it. It's so easy that people are like, what? It's that easy? Okay, so let me ask you this. If I tell you a new car is between $30,000 to $40,000, what is the margin of error? A new car is between $30,000 to $40,000. What is the margin of error? Be very careful. But a new car, because you might want to say one number and be like, wait, he's talking margin of error. 5,000. So you'd say 35,000 plus or minus 5,000. So the margin of error is just half the length of the interval. It's half the length if you think about how long the interval is. So the mathematics for this is upper minus lower divided by 2, upper minus lower divided by 2, because you figure out how long the interval is. So 74.3 minus 62.6, that is 11.7, I think. Divided by 2 is 6.85, round to one number, 6.9. I think it's 6.9. Yeah, divided by 2. Does that make sense? Just half the length. I think it is. I'll check. I got 6.9. But double check your math. Do it in your head and double check. Oh, ooh, it was close to 6, and I went way up. I thought something seemed a little off, because that would be 17 if we have. Anyways. Decreasing the sample size will make the margin of error a smaller value. Well, we have to look at the equation. Decreasing the sample size makes margin of error smaller. So if you make this value smaller, false. Yep. Because making this smaller means you divide by a smaller number, it makes the margin of error bigger. Because you're dividing by a smaller number. Because the bigger number you divide by, the smaller it gets. They're inversely related because it's in the denominator. I think Allie sees it right there. Because it's in the denominator of the equation, it's inversely related to the margin of error. And it makes sense. Like if you take a smaller sample, you'd have a wider interval. If you take a bigger sample, you'd have a tighter interval because you have a better understanding from the bigger sample. So this is false. They're inversely related mathematically. We did this one right here. You need at least 10 successes, at least 10 failures. We'll do one more version right here. But Lucy, good to see you there. We should be getting 10 out of 10s on all these. Let's do one more version. Might be the same. Nope. Sometimes it's very skewed. You need 100. When we do a confidence interval for the mean, which of the following distributions do we use? Chi, Z, T, or skewed? What is it? So you know you're saying? And think of this one. When you do a confidence interval for the mean, what distribution do you use? You should know it. You should think of that milk glass right there. You should think of dude with the milk glass. What is it? Mr. T is mean if you're doing drugs. There it is. Mr. T is mean if you're doing drugs. Yeah, Allie, you're not going to forget that now. He's a nice guy, but if you're doing drugs, it's pretty mean. The only way to change the margin of error is change sample size. Nope, we can change confidence level. Decreasing the sample size will make the margin of error smaller. No, they're inversely related. And then cut the interval in half. The interval is a length of 6.1. That rounds to 3.1 because 6.1 divided by is 3.05 divided by 2. And we got it right. We'll do more. I live for these tricks to remember things like Mr. T is mean and Monster Man. Which of the following would not be used to check the nearly normal? Is it A, B, C, or D? Which of the following is not used to check the nearly normal, and why? Is it A, B, C, D? Which of the following is not used, and why? The why is very important. Which of the following? Just take a guess. Don't worry. Boom! Wow, randomized. I got 35,000 for that. That's exactly right. Because nearly normals for quantitative data and bar charts are for categorical. 100% correct. No matter the shape, no, if it's very skewed. The only way to change, nope, it's false. Change confidence level. Decreasing sample size, nope, they're inversely related. Samples tell us truths about populations. Look at us just destroying this now. See if we get anything new. If we don't get anything new, we'll quit. Which of the following is not used to test means? Success, failure, that's for categorical. We just did this one. Bar charts are for categorical, not for quantitative data. At least 10 successes, at least 10 failures. Samples give us truths about populations. Cut the interval in half. So this is a length of 9.7. 9.7 cut in half is 4.8. I'm just guesstimating. Going quickly in my head. I might have rounded up. Nope, we got it. Half the length of the interval. Like that. How are people feeling? Just remember, these are good examples of what's on the test. It's not everything, but yeah, fastest quiz run ever. We can go even faster. Oh, I would have had the record. No one can get done under a minute. Took less than a minute, yeah. Here we go, fast as we can go. We got this one. 12.1, so 6.1. I think it's right. There we go. I've seen these questions for years. I've seen them for years. I mean, just like I'm looking at what it's. I'm half looking at the answers. So like I'm just looking at the answers now because I know the questions mostly. Someone's like gone to this part of the video and see. Then we get this one. This one slows us down. If I don't get that one, I can do it even faster. Here we go. Last try. Really? Trolling me. Yes. I did pretty fast. I like looked at it and I was like 12.3. I was like 12.3 round up 6.15 to 6.2. It's just half the length of the interval. Does everyone who feels like they understand how I'm getting this so fast? Why did I think 12.3? Just to review, why did I think 12.3? Why did my brain say 12.3? And then I was like, okay, half of that is 6. Round the change 1.15, 6.2. And it's even got a plus or minus. That's a huge plus or minus. That's an unfair. That's not even a good plus or minus. That is a very, very forgiving plus or minus. I could have just said 6. And it would have given it to me. I wish it said, you did this in 12 seconds. Exactly the full range, divide in half for the margin of error, the full range of the interval. So we just did like 3 attempts in a minute. Yeah. No, divide in half to get the margin of error. The full range of the interval. You're almost perfect randomized. Not the full range of the air. No, yeah, I wouldn't call it error. I'd say full range of the interval. It's not bad. It's not like really wrong. It's okay wrong. Anyways, let's awesome. I'm gonna have help with my mini term. Oh my gosh. I have a grader for mini term. You guys don't understand. Like during mini term, it is so busy and so quick. And I'm actually gonna have a grader this mini term who's gonna help me out. I am so stoked that I've had mini terms where I work sun up to sundown and probably grad student, maybe PhD or something like that. Yep. You never know, if you talk to the department, they hire students for grading and stuff like that. Grading is a really good job if you grade for someone, because you get to do it on your own time. You get to like sit at home. You get to, I mean, like, I don't want to grade, like, because it can take a lot of time, but you get paid for it. I mean, like, I don't get paid for it. It's part of my job when I have to do it. But when I do it during mini terms, sometimes it's literally like teach class for 3 hours, office hours for 3 hours, grade for like 5 hours, answer emails, go to sleep. I've had mini terms where I probably spend an hour at most each day doing something other than mini term related. And I mean like eating. And most of the time I'm like eating and looking at my computer, answering emails. Or like meeting with students on Discord, or meeting with students on Zoom if they can meet on Discord. So like mini term is so fast for me too, so compact. And then I'm also preparing for the next semester. So then I have to be getting ready for the literally mini term will end on like a Friday. Yeah, so then I stream the classes and I stream the office hours. Like I'll show you, I'll go show this real quick. But if people have questions, let me know. We can do another task here. But let me go to the channel and I'll show you a mini term class, like how long they are. Like I've had streams for mini term that last, I know a lot last 6 hours. Okay, that's fine. Real quick, search across your channel, mini Shirley. Here it is. I guess I can show this. I don't think it's showing the links. Yeah, here we go. So here you go, like 5 hours, 53 minutes. Last year, 5 hours, 11 minutes. 6 hours. Winter mini. 6 hours, 30 minutes. 6 hours, 30 minutes. 6 hours, 15 minutes. I mean, it's, if I go 4 hours, that's little. It's at least 4 hours. There's 2020, at least 4 hours. And that's straight streaming right there. So it's, yeah, it's, if I search, will it show all? Here we go, show all. I guess. What? Why is it showing the one? Oh, this is when we had the snowstorm. So that's, I was locked in there. I had to stream from my place. We had the snowstorm. Mini. Show all. Was it showing the one? Anyways, you get it. 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 Exam 1 Kahoot. How many views? Last week got some views. Wait, that's the oldest videos. Wait, oh, those aren't live streams. Oh, wait, date. May. What's going on? I've lost my mind. I have lost my mind. What is our biggest live stream ever? Oh, I'm still looking at mini streams. Oh my gosh. Who has questions? Questions, you got them. I'll answer them. Whoa. Oh, it's because I put them on the homepage probably. Class preview, week 1 advice, 6,000 views. That's crazy. Exam 2 review contest, 4,000 views. It's like 3 years ago. What questions do you have? Live viewers. Oh, I can't sort by that? That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Let's do a little chapter 14 quiz. Do some of the math behind it. That way I can tell people tomorrow in class. I'm just drinking sugar. And that's okay. Okay. Confidence intervals for the mean. Okay. Here we go. These are some of my favorite questions right here. Some of my absolute favorite questions because you'd be shocked at how you can do them. So let's do this. Stat 201, chapter 14 quiz using the T-table. Okay. So we don't actually use T-tables in this class because they're outdated. No one actually pulls out a T-table anymore. I've literally got... I got it from my phone. Get that phone anxiety. Get that anxiety, like, where's my phone at? You know what I'm talking about. You just say, I don't have my phone on me. Dad, drop it. Where'd my phone go? So on my phone, I actually have the t distribution. I can enter in the values. You're going to think I cheated now. But I can enter in the values and get the t-curve drawn. So there is the t distribution. It might be hard to see, but that is the t distribution on my phone. And that's why we don't use t-tables anymore, because the t-tables, you just look up values on them. So we don't need to look up values. What we need to understand about the t-curve is that the t-curve is basically the normal curve. So we can go to our applet that we have. Let's go to the applet. We're going to type in t, and MuBot's going to send us there. And we can also go to Adam Spanbauer's page. Oh man, he's already done it. There's the link, but we're going to go over here, and you can click on the t distribution. That link right there will send you the t. Now, the t kind of looks like the normal. At low degrees of freedom, it has more differences, but when you go to higher degrees of freedom, just hold down on the degrees of freedom, and you can see it becomes the normal, and you see classic numbers like 1.96 when you make a 95% confidence interval. So the t curve is basically the normal, but it's a more exact calculation. It was created by William Seeley Gossett, who worked at Guinness Beer. He published in Biometrica in like 1905, around there. And it was called The Probable Error of a Mean. So William Gossett, Guinness Beer. William Gossett, Guinness Beer. So why does all this matter? With William Gossett creating this distribution, there he is right there, the man William Seeley Gossett. Biometrica, The Probable Error of a Mean by students who used a pseudonym to publish under it. He's like, oh, the beer guy's up to it again, publishing, but that's a premier journal, top journal to publish in. This is more exact calculations than the normal. So we use the t, and it has with it what are called degrees of freedom. This is the normal. This is the t. And you put in the degrees of freedom for a one sample t that are n minus 1. So that means for this, there was 29 sample size because there's 28 degrees of freedom. So the degrees of freedom give you the shape of the t because there's pretty much infinite shapes of t that exist. The more degrees of freedom, the more normal it is. So I already know some values for z-scores. And because of that, the t is always bigger than the z. So since I know the z-score here is 1.645 for the 90% confidence interval, I'm going to go a little bit bigger than that because this is low, moderate degrees of freedom. So I'm going to go 1.72. And then the 95 is the classic. You may remember this from doing a bunch of 95% confidence intervals for the previous assignment. It's 1.96. But after about 60 degrees of freedom, it's pretty close to 2, and it starts to go under 2. So we're going to go 1.99 right here because it's approaching 1.96. And we'll see this. Did we get it right? We got 100. So once again, you're not meant to guess these. What you're meant to do is you're meant to go in. That's not where I want to go. MuBot put 2 links in the chat. We want to go over here to the applet, and you see where it says 28 degrees of freedom. You simply put in 28 degrees of freedom, click between for a confidence interval, and go to 90%. And there's the answer right there, 1.7. And I guess I got it because I was close enough. But notice as I do this right here, if I increase the degrees of freedom, it's going to go towards 1.645. You have to go very high on the degrees of freedom, but this number will keep approaching 1.645 right there as you go to very high degrees of freedom. The same thing works for the other one, which was like 78 degrees of freedom with a 95% confidence. Remember I said when you're past 60 degrees of freedom, that's where it goes under 2. And because I know it's going to approach 1.96, which is the z-score. So we were at like something like this, 81 degrees of freedom. I guesstimated about 1.99, which you don't have to do. But I want you to know that as you keep getting more degrees of freedom, it goes towards 1.96, or technically 1.95996. If we do more decibels, 1.95996. There you go. I've looked at this too much. Time for another question. Actually, I love this question. It's my favorite one. Darn it. Can't do more versions of it right now. I love that question. Oh, wait. Now we got this one. Actually, what's really funny is this one, let me put it in the video details, is the same. The second one's going to be really easy, but the first one's really tough because at lower degrees of freedom, the distribution is very different from the normal. So when you have very low degrees of freedom, Gossett made it so the t does a big correction. It's a very different distribution because you're correcting for a small sample size where you probably don't have a good estimate. So what is the critical value of a t with 90% confidence for degrees of freedom 6? 1.96. Let's laugh because that's the classic 95%. And actually, this one has a lot of degrees of freedom, so it's going to be very close to 1.96, probably 1.98. We're probably only going to get 50%, and that's what I thought. So this one is 6 degrees of freedom and 90% confident. So we have to go back to our applet, put in the 6 degrees of freedom between and 90% confident. And I was so close. Was I literally just one off? I was this close to getting it right by guessing. I mean, it's kind of close enough if you ask me, but no. So I was very close with my guesses. The 1.98 enter in 109 degrees of freedom, middle 95%, and you'll see 198. The T distribution, well, I will just keep working. Sure, I'll put it in here. I'll put it in the video. 35, 53. Why is it like, it's so tiring. Okay. And which of the following? The T distribution is unimodal and symmetric. We've been seeing that with the way the curve looks. So we'll bring it up here again, just in case someone jumped to this question. The T curve is unimodal and symmetric. There it is right there. The T distribution has fatter tails and narrower. If you look right here, this is fatter and narrower than the normal. So there's the normal. There's the T. And if you look, it is fatter tails. That means more area in the tails. Like it goes all the way to like 10. There's more area in these tails. And it's more squished in the middle. So there you go. So as degrees of freedom increase, the T approaches the normal. And we've shown this a lot so far. We've gone over here and just gone to the degrees of freedom on the T, which tells you the shape of the T you're working with. And so we change the degrees of freedom here. And you go, it starts to approach the normal because the correction is less drastic for higher sample sizes. So that is what we got. This one, another nice and easy one. Another nice and easy. See, I feel like no one needs a video for this one, but it's a good one. Maybe someone's watching. And they're like, I want to learn. I say, yay for you. So suppose we are making a 95% confidence interval for the population mean. Sample size is 15. So this is a one sample t-test. The degrees of freedom are n minus 1. So this is n, and degrees of freedom are n minus 1. So the degrees of freedom are 14. There we go. That's how it works. And this one's an interpretation question. I do like this one a bit. We did it last one. I'm trying to think of more. Could we do them all? Might be able to. Let's keep going. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Gonna fall asleep. Can't fall asleep. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay. Livestock. Okay. Livestock are given supplemental feed. They find an interval centered at 56. Now, when I get an interval here, I always go to what's the most important thing. We need to know what the interval is and give its lower and upper and interpret it. So don't even read their answers. Interpret your own interval. So the interval is 56 plus or minus 11. When you subtract and add this to it, you get an interval that goes down to 45 and goes all the way up to 67. So you would say, I am 95% confident that the true weight gain of these cows is contained in the interval 45 pounds to 67 pounds. That's for all the cows. Yeah, exactly. Randomized. And here's Mubot putting in the chat for you. I'm going to pin it. But I am 95% confident that the true weight gain of these cows is contained in the interval 45 to 67 pounds. So let's look at the first answer right here they give. 95% of the cows studied. No, it's not about the cows studied. It's about the true weight gain of all cows. So the confidence interval is for the population mean, not the individual cows in the study. One is 95% confident that a cow. No, it's for the cows, the truth of all cows. That's incorrect. The confidence interval is not for individual cows. It's for all cows. It doesn't estimate a sample. Confidence interval estimates the true mean. One is 95% sure that the average cow weight gain among the cows in the study was this. No. The cows in the study, it literally says the cows in the study gained 56 pounds. So one knows the weight gain of the cows in the study was this. Not that all cows will gain this weight, but we know what the cows in the studies gained. The average weight gain of cows fed this supplement will be this 95% of the time. I think this one almost caught me last time. Oh yeah, the average does not vary. Whatever the weight cows gain on average is not going to vary. It's that we are 95% confident the interval contains the truth. That's a very theoretical one. If the supplement is tested on another sample of cows, there's a 95% chance that the average weight gain of cows will be between this. No. Yeah, this one's tricky. It's just have to think about what exactly our explanation says. There's a 95% chance that the sample will have its average weight gain within 2 standard deviations of the true mean, not of the true proportion, because we're doing quantitative data. So proportion can be ruled out. Proportion can be ruled out. You're really just down to these two, because we're not dealing with proportions. We're dealing with the true mean. So, yeah. Really, all that matters on that last question is knowing how to interpret the interval. I am 95% confident the true weight gain of cows that take this supplement will be contained in the interval 45 to 67 pounds. You got to know how to interpret the interval. And then you can see a lot of those don't talk about the true weight gain. They talk about a cow. So, yeah. Let's take a look at this one. I think you randomized. Let me throw you some more points randomized. Thank you for being here. Let's do this question. Oh, what? I lost my thing. I stopped drinking energy drinks. I had a Red Bull last week because I was giving it. Shout outs to the run or something like that. Whoever you are, you know who you are. Shouts to you. I appreciate it. Software analysis of salaries of a random sample of 288 Nevada teachers produced the confidential shown below. Determine if the following conclusions are correct or not. State what is wrong with the conclusions. Complete the parts. It's interval with 90% confidence. We are 90% confident the true average mean tech pay is contained in the interval 43 to 45,000. If a random sample of 288 teachers from Nevada were taken, about 9 out of 10 of them would produce this interval. No, they're all going to produce different intervals. 90% of them would contain the truth. That's what a 90% confidence interval means. Yeah, that's it. That's what 90% confidence interval means. Is 90% of 90% confidence intervals contain the truth. It's not that they would contain. This interval is its own thing. If many random samples of Nevada teachers were taken, about 9 out of 10 of them would produce a confidence interval that contained the mean salary. That sounds correct. Yeah, that's what a 90% confidence interval means. So is it wanting just... That is correct. That if you kept taking samples, about 90% of 90% confidence intervals contain the truth. About 9 out of 10 teachers, no. No. It's not about teachers. It's about the average. The intervals for the population mean salary, not individuals. About 9 out of 10 teachers surveyed, no. It's kind of weird that it wants us to do that again, but it's not. The interval's not for the sample mean. That's false. I think that's right again. We are 90% confident that the average teacher's salary in the entire country, not the country, it's Nevada. That was so close. I think we did it. There we go. That's good. I did mark it. That was a good one. Is it another interpretation? Oh my gosh. No, not so much. I think Terry's making it so it's like you have to click drop downs. You really just have to know the right interpretation. So these are kind of like crazy because if you knew how to interpret it right, you don't have to like, what does it mean to have a 90% confidence interval? 90% of 90% confidence intervals contain the truth 90% of the time. So it's about repeatedly making intervals law of large numbers. And then I am blank percent confident that the true blank is contained in the interval blank to blank. So knowing how to interpret your intervals is key. Yeah. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's confusing for me too. First semester I did them. I got some of them wrong. Don't tell anybody. I'm kidding. I did, but you can tell people. Okay, so here's the interval. 95% confident that the mean food cost for one term, so I am 95% confident that the true mean cost for one term of food for students is contained in the interval 13 to 1500. Okay. 95% of all students, no. It's about the average. It's about the average. A confidence interval estimates a population parameter, so the confidence interval is not about individuals. See, this is false. A confidence interval is about population parameters. This is false. A confidence interval does not estimate a sample parameter. That's false. That's just blatantly false. A confidence interval is not about individuals. It's not about students. It's about the average. 95% of the students sampled, no. That's not what it's about. A confidence interval is not about individuals in the sample. So we don't know that they all paid between this. One is 95% sure that students in the sample average between this and this for food. Kind of true, but not really. The interpretation is incorrect. The mean cost for students in the sample is known to be this. Yeah, I mean it is between that, but it would be the center of the interval, because if you take the two numbers and average them, which they didn't actually give you that this time, but you go 1372 plus 1562, you're just dividing in half to get the middle of the interval, so that we do know what the average is because it's the center of the interval. 95% of all samples of students will have 95% of all samples will have average food costs within 2 standard deviations of the truth. I hate that one. One is 95. Ooh, I am 95% confident that the average amount all students pay is between this. Ooh, what do you think? That's got it. That's our correct interpretation. I am 95% confident that the true amount students pay is contained in the interval, blank to blank. There you go. That's the correct one. Oh my gosh. Is another one. Where is it? Where is it? Look at this graph. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's the right one, right? No, it needs to be
Another one.
there. Did I click another one? That should be right.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Is it? Not quite. Not quite. Yeah, I had that sound locked and loaded. I don't use it so much. I've got all my I've got all the sounds right here that I've locked and loaded. I've got 12 different sounds. I've got Doesn't Matter, Notation Brother, Wow Anime, Matters from The Rock, Mewbot, Sound of Silence, Wow Owen Wilson, Josiah Wilkinson, Happy, Look at This Graph, another one, Anything is Possible, and Little Bits. Those are the sounds I've loaded in. So I try to make them all positive and fun. Oh yeah, I got Stream Deck. Yep. I'll pull that up and then we'll do this one. But here's it's the Go XLR. So here's the Stream Deck with everything loaded in. Like this is where I just make myself disappear in the bottom right. Then I've got like the music. I've got sound effects there. I never use those sound effects. I've got the openings. I've got the closings. I've got the lights, which are not hooked. I don't have any Elgato lights right now. Timers, which I use when we're getting ready. Effects. Here's the effects, like puppet sharks and stuff. So all those, the Invincibles, which I think work right now. Nope, Invincibles don't work. I had a pain. There's the graphic right there. Smash Bros. Oh, is it queued for the other scene? What is going on? Well, I need to. It's queued up on the other scene. I'll click that another time. Then we got Skeletor down there. And then the Go XLR is. Where's the Go XLR? I'm looking over it. Oh, there it is. That's the Go XLR. This is you probably if you know streaming stuff, you might know the Go XLR. It's an actual physical device, so I can go over here, mute my mic. I can control my volume over here. I can just click this also. But this is where the sound effects are at down there. You can see the sound wave form behind it, and then Mewbot voice and everything
Thing is over here
on the
button pressing.
So it's an actual physical device, but it's a whole space station I pilot around. So it'd be fun to pierce, right? But I'm really glad people like this setup. And then I've got a what's this called? This is an X Pen tablet. It's really thanks to Haslam. It's hugely thanks to Haslam. And I've got 4 screens. So I've got 4 screens set up and all that stuff. Yeah, I've streamed a lot. Well, I mean, with this, Brian Stevens, Haslam. There's a picture of me in my office. Where's that? Oh, here it is. Here is a picture of me in my office. I wish they got more of the screens. So you can see the tablet right here. That's the tablet. This is the privacy monitor. It's over here. So if someone walks by and I have grades up or stuff, you shouldn't be able to see it pretty well. This is where your chat is. So if you look at where I'm sitting back here right now. There's a chair back here. It's not that big of a room. Like I'm literally standing one of the only spaces you can stand in. And then this is where the chat goes on a 55-inch vertical monitor. And then this is the confidence monitor with OBS running on it. So I've got OBS running there. I put work here so I can draw on it. It's literally it's right here. I'm touching it right now. And then the microphone's on the side of the desk. It's got a what's it called, Rode arm. And I've had to learn a lot of this stuff. And then the Stream Deck XL is right over here. Stream Deck XL. I can't lift it up high enough. The cords aren't long enough. But the Stream Deck XL is over there. The Go XLR is over here. but it's literally just like around my hands and just like, but I'm really lucky. Yeah. If you have ideas or anything like that, let me know. It's students who help me make all this and make it possible. It's always new ideas, new fun things. So huge thank you to Haslam. And people like it. People say, hey, it works. I can hear you clearly. I can see you clearly. We use NDI cameras. I was using a Sony Handycam, a 4K Sony Handycam. That was fun. I loved that camera. And I've also got, I'll show you one more thing. We've done a bunch of work. World of Edcraft. I'll show you my old studio. So this should show my old studio. Oh yeah. Oh, and there's a green screen behind me. Yep. Mm-hmm. I did use, was Elgato? I had an Elgato green screen. Elgato green screen. I had an Elgato. This is an Elgato too. It's the pull down. And we just bought another Elgato, my wife and I. Elgato green screen. There we go. So let me zoom in. Shows you the investment. This was the studio in Texas. So really, you're gonna block the bottom of that. World of Edcraft. I didn't play WoW actually, but I love the name of it. I love World of Edcraft. That was Dr. Andrew Lowe who suggested it. And I made like a picture for it and everything, World of Edcraft. But here's the studio in Texas. So there's the Elgato light. Then I had a second camera. Then this screen is the same screen right here. It's the exact same monitor. Then this was a Huion tablet. Still got my glowy keyboard. It's a different keyboard actually. The keyboards are actually mine. So I bought my own keyboards for my own setup and just whatever, just buy a keyboard. The mouse is also mine too, which is funny because when I brought things back, the mouse is also, you can see there's still the red thing on it right there. Who is it? It's a gamer mouse. I'm trying to remember who it is. It's not one of the big gamer. No, it is this. No, it's a different one. But when I brought it back, it actually got put to a different person. And I was like, where'd my mouse go? And they're like, well, it's a Haslam mouse, right? And so, because someone else had it, I was like, no, that's my mouse. I was like, that's my mouse. They were very nice about it. I was like, I get the mouse back? They're like, we'll get you a different one. I was like, no, that's my mouse. That's mine. I bought that. There's my clock. There's my Mega Man. He's not in this office right now. There's my Mario mug, which is marked as priceless. I think it went off the edge of the thing. Dr. Lowe put that in. I was like, yeah, but yeah. And then this was a, who's the company? NZXT. I use a Dell Alienware now. So now I use Dell Alienware. And yeah, that's a photo of Gish, if you know Ed McMillan or whatever his name is, who does like Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy. Mugenics is coming out. Those games. That's a photo of Gish right there from The End Is Nigh. And trying to think what else is notable in this picture. Oh, I had the what's that called? It's something mini. I can't remember. A10 Mini, that's what it is, the A10 Mini. It was a changer for cameras, and I don't use a multi-stream setup. Well, now I go NDI cameras. So the NDI camera is right here. And so this is the NDI camera. About to pop up. There we go. There you go. Here's the unfiltered, unedited. My skin's a little less pale, you can see. So that's the unfiltered, unedited, ungreen screened version of Brian. I'm also mirror imaged. So yeah, well, is that right? I don't know. But that's the whatchamacallit, the NDI camera. And I do have two NDI cameras, but there was a lag when I was hooking up, when I had the other NDI camera running too. So it was lagging and that was just annoying. So I stopped both cameras running. And then here I had the Sony Handycam running. So I had to set everything up, wire everything, put holes in the wall to hang the green screen. I didn't do that here. They did that for me. But when I went to Texas, I set up my own studio. Made my own studio. Little room too. You walk in and it's like there's just a bunch of wires on the ground. I think one time I almost fell into the camera. I was like moving around and I like tripped over a wire and I was like, roar! Hey Addie. We did some work, Addie. We got some stuff done. Any quick questions here, Addie? Oh, you know what's really good? Is this right here. This chair is so cool. this chair is where my wife would sit because she had her own desk to the side. So she rarely was in there when I was streaming, rarely to never. But she would sometimes come in the room. All the memories now I'm having of she would come into the room and like duck under the camera, and I'd be teaching and you just see me start to laugh. I'd be like, so let's talk about the meme. And my wife was just ducking under the camera. Yeah. Oh, awesome, Maddie. That's awesome. We did Canvas content, and then we did the first part of the quiz. So there's what we did right there. And yeah, so we did a good bit. It's so staticky outside. But I was walking down memory lane. Looks like I've got like another keyboard right there or something. Or no, that's a laptop. So much. And then is that that's another laptop, I think, because that looks like a MacBook power cord. This is the board where we wrote this. This is that board. It doesn't have it on there right there, but that is that same board. Same board. I don't think we don't have the pens in the corner, but that's the same board. I remember hanging that board, and my wife was like, "Do you think it's gonna damage the wall?" And I was like, "Nah, it didn't damage the wall." But I was like, "I want a board in here." And we got it. She's like, "Okay, get the board." But yeah, and there's the small stream decks. There's the cloud lifter. Still the same cloud lifter. Where's my cloud lifter? Wait, no, it's so close. Say, Brian, the audio goes out. There it is. There's the cloud lifter. I've got Sennheiser microphones. Sennheiser lav mics. Yeah, I mean, it's actually, that's kind of the paper I'm writing right now, randomized. I'm trying this weekend, I literally spent a long time writing a paper about what I do and to gamify education and to turn it into something more than a class. And yeah, so I want people. I had multiple stream decks. There's a stream deck there, and there's a stream deck. But now, since I have the large stream deck XL, you really only need the one. And I've either loaned or given away my other stream decks. Because I've had this is my 4th stream deck. I had 3 minis and 1 big, and then I just yeah. Because I had them on different computers and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, now that I have this big one, I don't need all of them. And the big one was gifted to me. Thank you, Dr. Wilms, did it. But yeah, if people ever see this and they want to learn, especially if you're an educator, this is public online. I can talk to you about it. I can give advice. I'm usually pretty open about giving my advice. If you want me to spend 5 hours with you, I might say, well, then we might need to talk about something. Or someone's like, hey, I'd love to talk to you. I've talked to a lot of people via email, given advice, helped people out. Yeah, I've talked to groups on campus, done presentations for groups on campus, done presentations at conferences. I think education is slow to move on this stuff. I call it the Twitchification of education, where people want to watch Twitch. They want to watch, Instagram Reels. They want to watch social media content. So why not make classes more like that? And people are like, oh, well, that's ruining education. It's like, no, it's how people consume media. No one knows what education is going to be in 5, 10, 15 years. You have to keep up with the times. So I hope to keep people entertained. I hope for people to enjoy this. I'm not going a quick walk. We went off track here, but it was a fun 15 minutes. Any other last questions here as I drink my 73 grams of sugar? I got to finish my paper. Teacher said he wants a 20-page paper. I'd love that. How would I do that? How would I apply? Where do you give TED Talks? My cousin gave a TED Talk. I wonder if I can find his TED Talk. Let me see if I can find it. Yes! Oh my gosh, 10 years ago. 11,000 views.
Please welcome James Tilsty.
Oh man. Here he is. This is my cousin giving a TED Talk. TED Talk, do not hit us. You can tell we're related.
Years. And as you can imagine, being a member of the resident philosophy club for 4
Of course he's I love it. James is so awesome.
years can have its fair share of aha moments. I've been more of a casual.
Can you tell that you can probably tell we're related. Tall guy, dark hair.
Abstract concept created by humans to measure the change in.
James is awesome.
Which admittedly was probably the reality.
The lighting is a bit crazy on this.
At the same time, it's just weird. I'll spare you the details.
TED Talk, don't hit me. This is my cousin. I think it is. Nothing matters, but that's a good thing.
It wasn't something that my 18-year-old mind was really interested in at the time.
God, it's funny when he says his 18-year-old mind. He's like 10, 15 years younger than me. No, he's like 12 years younger. Somewhere around there. I'm just like, when he says 18-year-old, I'm like, are you not still 18? He'd be like, Brian, come on, man. You know.
And that's a good thing. Let me explain.
I love his, my favorite movie. Yeah, you should go. Oh, yeah, we'll go watch it. We'll drop this in the chat right here. So go watch James's talk, James's TED Talk. Yeah, you can watch randomized. Oh, wait, did error? It's not letting me post it. There we go. You can go check out James's TED Talk right here. Here, we'll put a comment below it. I'm going to write best TED Talk ever. There we go. Best TED Talk ever. There we go. We're going to upvote our own comment. You have to do that. There we go. You have to upvote. If you're not going to upvote it, who's going to upvote your own comment? You have to show people, I endorse this. They shouldn't. I think on Reddit, you can't upvote your own stuff, but like, I'm going to hit it up on my own vote. I'm going to do it. But anyways, it's for my cousin. It's not for me. It's for someone else going to be like, man, someone upvoted that? I should watch this. But shout out to James right there. Really awesome dude. He won our fantasy league last year. I need to see him again. I haven't seen him since his brother graduated college, which is forever ago now. Not even joking. It was like 12 years ago his brother graduated college. So shout out to my cousins. You upvoted it? Nice. Randomized. Let's throw you some points and we'll head out of here. But thank you. Check it out. James is a great guy, and maybe I'll do a TED Talk one day. I'll follow. Okay, literally, YouTube is blocking me from talking. It keeps saying error occurred in the chat. You might have just got 100,000 points. I'm going to follow in my cousin's footsteps and try to do awesome things like him because I disagree. Things matter. And that's okay that we disagree. Well, until then, till next time. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.